What's up again, everybody? This is Jose Gagnon, the super random guy, here again today. And we're going to be finishing up, finally this year, the last 4 episodes of Season 6 of Thomas the Train. This one's called Edward the Really Useful Engine, or Very Useful Engine. So in this episode, we're going to see Edward do something super amazing, in my opinion. Hopefully you're all going to enjoy these very last 4 episodes. I'm just going to be doing 2 of them today. And then the last 2 will be done next week. And then after I'm done with these last 4 episodes, we can finally move on to go do Season 7. Which will be the last season that I'll be covering for, this, for my series that I'm doing. So let's get right into this episode. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it very much. Like I said, get the greatness, have the amazing happy times, and let's keep it rolling now. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, man. Oh, and also for the next episode that I'll be doing after this one, we're going to be seeing the narrow gauge engines again, which we haven't seen them since season... Well, actually, yeah, we did see them last season, so we're going to be seeing them again and seeing what kind of randomness is going to be happening with them as well. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, man.
The engines on the island of Sodor are good at different things. Gordon is a very good express. Percy is good at carrying the mail. And when Edward is not hauling trucks, he's very good at being a back engine. When engines have heavy loads, Edward buffers up behind and helps push. But Edward is old. Some engines think this makes him unreliable.
And now we're finally back, to Gordon's gonna be basically saying some, stupid things about Edward like he usually does. Because that's, he just likes, being rude to Edward for no reason because he just thinks that he's the most, best train on the whole railway. So let's see what's going to be happening here in this episode now.
Edward is a useless old steampot, Gordon said. He should be retired. But he doesn't have tyres, Percy said. Retired, said Thomas, means taken out of service. And not a moment too soon, said Gordon. And the other big engines agreed with him. But Percy was very upset.
This is always something that, I've always found a little confusing, after, Gordon said that, and, Michelangelo said that the other, James and Henry agreed with what Gordon had said. I'm kind of surprised that, Henry would agree with what Gordon said because he's usually, best friends with Edward. So I don't understand, why he would agree with Gordon and think that, that Edward should be retired. But of course, this is making Percy a lot more worried than it is to him for some reason. So now he's going to go, tell his driver and then, try to let Sir Topham Hatt know about it too. Because, that's just, how Percy is. He always gets super worried. So he wants to, try to, let the boss man know about it whenever he can.
Later, his driver asked him why he looked so glum. Percy told him about Edward. The big engines don't think he's useful anymore, he said. Percy's driver saw the Fat Controller and told him what Percy had said. I will attend to the matter immediately. The Fat Controller had a plan. The new loop line is completed, he said to Edward. I want you to teach Stepney how to run it properly. But, sir, he asked, who will look after the trucks? Jock will do your work, the Fat Controller replied. When the other engines heard Duck was going to help them, they were pleased. Duck is very reliable, said Henry. It makes no difference to me, said Gordon pompously. I don't need a back engine. And he wheezed away.
And this is also like a little, just interesting and funny, just, listening to Henry say, how he thinks Duck's reliable. Like, just hearing him how he's changed his opinion after all these seasons. Because, like when Duck was first introduced in season 2, him and Gordon and James didn't really like Duck, that much because, they just, their thing is, they don't really care about the smaller engines that much. But now, having, hear Henry say this, just, changing his mind about Duck just because, he actually cares about him after all those seasons that have passed, like, after these 4 seasons that he finally, ends up changing his mind and he actually cares about Duck, to be honest. Especially because, like when they first met him, they didn't really care for him, but now they've changed their mind and they actually, care about Duck, to be honest, which is kind of, I think, really interesting and funny to me. But let's continue on with this episode now.
Edward enjoyed working with Stepney. It was great fun delivering passengers to stations in the beautiful countryside. But Duck was not happy. The trucks were playing their silly games. Duck should play with other ducks, 'cause he's no good at pulling trucks. Quack, 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 hold back, they giggled. Duck found himself going slower and slower and slower. Halfway up Gordon's hill, his wheels stopped altogether. Duck was stuck. Oh no, said his driver. This is Gordon's line. Duck's guard phoned the signalman to warn him. It's too late to switch Gordon to the middle line, said the signalman. You'll have to flag him down. Gordon saw the guard. If I stop on this hill, I'll never get started again, he said crossly, and he buffered up to Duck. Gordon tried to set off again, but his wheels spun and spun. It's no use. We need a back engine, said the driver. I'll send for Edward. Gordon was cross. Edward was excited. He was going to be the back engine for 2 trains.
Now, this is, the first ever time probably the first and only time that we're going to see Edward push 2 trains instead of 1 up Gordon's hill, because he usually only just pushes 1 train, but now he's going to be, pushing up 2 trains by himself. So that's going to be a super interesting, thing to see, as we're about to watch here in a couple minutes.
Edward cheerfully buffered up, and the strange train set off. Look at that, laughed the boy. The back engine must be the strongest and the best. Gordon was embarrassed. The Fat Controller spoke severely to Gordon. You have said rude things about Edward, the Fat Controller said. He proved today that he is useful, reliable, and very helpful. Gordon felt very ashamed. The next morning, Gordon apologized. Thank you for helping me, Edward, puffed Gordon. You really are a useful engine. It's good to be back, Edward chuffed happily. The Fat Controller's plan had worked. There was no more talk about Edward.
So that was episode 23 of season 6, Edward the Very Useful Engine. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully I hope that you found that little scene interesting of Edward pushing both Gordon and Duck up the hill. And like I said, we'll be continuing on going into episode 24, and then we'll only have just 2 more episodes left to talk about for season 6, and then we can finally go and move on to season 7. Hopefully you enjoyed it very much. Get the greatness. Have the amazing happy times. And we will see you all in the next episode, everybody. Yeah, yeah. Woo! Yeah, mans. See you in the next episode now. Yeah, yeah. Woo! Yeah, mans. Keep it rolling now, everybody. Yeah, yeah. You already know how the things go here. See you, everybody. Yeah, yeah.